Too old or aged like a fine wine? Today on SB Fantasy Football.
I mean, I don't know.
We'll find out, right? That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And we're live. Welcome to SB Fantasy Football Podcast
What's up?
with your pals Alan and Rapid Dave. I'm Alan.
I'm RD. What's up, baby?
You know what? Just here to try hard.
Anytime
That's it.
we talk fantasy football, I always get a little excited anyway, so
Get a little,
I'm feeling it.
your pants shrink a little bit.
Little
you
wiggle.
know? Little wiggle. Little jiggle jingle.
I think I posted a reel or something like that. It was like, man, this thing's getting me all horned up. I feel a little like it was some beer. It was Theo Vaughn, and it was his
Okay.
audio that I was playing, which I can actually get it.
Oh, yeah?
Let me see.
Let's bog down the show right when we
Let's
start.
do it right out of the gate.
Okay,
You
yeah,
ready?
that's cool.
You
Yeah.
ready?
Yeah.
Erect, dude. I'm not even joking. I'm starting to feel a little bit of thump down in my dump. Damn, this shit's making me mildly erect.
You know, I could have actually
down in my dump. I love it. I love it.
You know, I could have done it. Played it right through the frickin' board anyway. So you know,
Yeah.
like, we
but
have the
why
technology.
why would you do that?
I was like, no, I'll just fire it up and put it up.
You just got to push the button.
Yeah,
and
that's
just-
all you got to do.
But we're here to talk about older players.
Yeah, we're older. Are we talking about
Well,
fantasy
we're
players?
not. We're talking about players in the NFL.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Not
talking
us.
I thought you were just talking about old fantasy players, like
No.
like us.
No,
Oh,
no,
NFL
just, yeah,
players.
old NFL players, and is because at a certain
Oh.
point in time you drop off, right?
Oh, sure.
Few players ride off into the sunset,
God.
right?
Yeah.
Most guys, they have that drop off year or two where they kind of hang around for maybe a little bit too long. Who knows? But that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's
Okay.
talk about some of these older guys.
You got a list?
And I got a list. I got a
you.
list. We'll go from youngest to oldest.
Okay.
We'll start with a spry 29-year-old Derrick Henry.
God, is that old these days?
That's getting there. So last year he had 1,167 yards rushing, 12 touchdowns, 28 receptions for 214 yards, no receiving touchdowns. He's on a new team this year.
Oh, yes.
He's not with Tennessee anymore. He's with Baltimore, a team that knows how to run the ball, but also, for whatever reason it is, if you go run the football for Baltimore, you get hurt.
yeah.
That's just part of, I don't know, it's just part of
That's
it.
the way baseball goes.
So, what are you doing with Derrick Henry this year? Are you trying to get him? Are you avoiding him? Are you not drafting him? What are we doing? What are we doing with Derrick Henry this year?
He's actually going to be on my list of dudes that I am absolutely going after. Like I am
Absolutely going after.
Yeah, I'm pursuing him this year.
You're going after him.
It's going to be a huge year for him. They do run the ball. He is a big dude. They're not going to. Lamar lost 20 pounds to thin up. He's not doing the quarterback.
He wants
option.
to be more agile
Yeah.
this year.
They're going to hand that ball off to that dump truck of a man, and he's going to plow into that end zone. Like his over-under right now for touchdowns, I believe, rushing touchdowns,
Okay.
was like at 10. I believe it was like 10 out in Vegas, and that number has gone up a little bit. So if you were able to get in early, I was like going to hammer the over. There's no way. There's no freaking, barring an injury,
Okay.
that's the only way you're going to get screwed out of this. He plays. If he misses one game, I don't care. But this guy is going to be fantasy gold this year.
Okay.
And I am drafting him above his current ADP.
Currently, in on Fantasy Pros, PPR running back rankings, he's ranking at number 12 this year.
Yeah.
Number 12.
I'm above that.
You're taking him above that.
Yeah. I'm going to get him in the top 10.
Okay. You're going top 10.
Top 10 RBs. You said he's RB 12, right?
Right.
Yeah.
right.
I'm taking
Okay.
him. He'll be in the list.
Okay.
At the top. I mean, maybe 8. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, his current ADP, if you look at the overall, whatever it is, where's he currently ranked at? You got it? I'm over here
Give
doing-
me
I'm doing over here doing dumb stuff.
dumb stuff.
Yeah, a whole bunch of dumb
His
stuff.
current ADP is, let's see here, Derrick Henry, 36 overall,
Yeah, wait,
10th running back.
yeah. So mid third round, beginning of third round, depending on what kind of league you're in, I'm taking him in the second. I'm attacking him this year.
Going hard.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All
Especially if I don't get who I really like, my RB1 or something like that, or if there's a receiver that I'm looking at in the first round. If I'm say at the end of a round and I get the wheel, yeah, no, I'm getting whoever, and he'll be my second pick.
right. Okay.
Going hard to the paint this year for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's
You like that?
I
you
am-
like that?
He's one of those guys that would honestly feel like you would be able to get him a little bit later this year, but with him going, 36 overall, I just don't know that I'll get him this year.
Yeah. You have to be willing to go get him.
I'm not willing to go get him. Mm-hmm. He's a guy that I want to get a little bit later.
Gotcha.
If I'm drafting him as one of my top 2 running backs, I feel like I might have some problems this year.
Fantasy, you're going to have a problem winning a fantasy championship if you don't get him.
Okay.
Which you're used to, so it's no big
I
deal.
don't know what you're talking
In the
about
recent
there.
years, you're...
Oh, right.
Yeah. Anyways.
You're going to be a jerk there.
I mean, so he's 36 overall. Were you willing to take him? Third round, fourth round, fifth round?
Probably fifth. I might start looking.
You were absolutely insane. In a 15-team league or 16-team league? not a 10-team league.
I mean,
You're telling me fifth round.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's insane. All right, buddy.
I've got, especially PPR, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking PPR.
Okay.
That's what we always talk.
He can catch balls.
I've got receivers I would rather draft over drafting him. He's not getting you a lot receiving wise. I mean, he had 28 receptions last year.
Yeah. But like a couple years ago, it was a terrible team he was on last year.
I understand that.
Terrible.
But you're the only guy on a terrible team.
Yeah.
So
now he's now he's got, the attention will be elsewhere. And like you got to do an RPO or something like that. And you're like, what do we do?
well, an RPO, which hasn't done in his career.
Well, I'm just saying for Lamar, right? Say
Right.
he all of a sudden you see that ball going towards, him, and then you're worried about Lamar pulling it back and taking off. You also got to worry about this big mountain of a man come barreling at you too. So,
Yeah.
He was wore out in Tennessee. They wore him out, but then towards the end, it was a bad team. And
He's had a high usage in his
super
career.
high.
And the thing with running backs is when they drop off, they drop off.
Yep.
There's no in between.
Yeah, that's not like a slight.
You just fall off the cliff. You're like, yeah, life is great, and then you're falling off the cliff like your Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah. I know what sound you were going for. You missed it just.
I don't know. I think
bit.
I got it. I
Just
think
a
I
slight
got
bit.
it. Let us know. Did I get it or did I not? Let us know, guys. Next up, we're going to tackle some 31-year-olds.
Okay.
So at 31, I've got. We'll stick with running backs because I got a running back and I got 2 wide receivers.
All right.
Raheem Mostert.
Yeah.
Raheem Mostert had 1,012 yards rushing, 18 touchdowns, 25 receptions for 175 yards, and another 3 touchdowns. So 21 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
But Devin A-Chain started taking over towards the end of the year last year.
He did.
Younger, but Mostert hasn't had a ton of usage. He's 31, but he's always been second, third, fourth guy on his team.
Yeah.
Right?
They just drafted another running back too. And I already said this, like I just don't want to draft any Miami running backs just because the amount of them.
There's a lot.
But he has produced, depending on his current ADP, which I think is super low. Man,
I'm
whiskers go up my
I'm
damn
having to
nose.
scroll a minute
he's down there.
to get there. So you're going to get a guy who got you 21 touchdowns last year. I don't even know where his... I'm not even seeing him on this list.
Come
honestly.
on. Jesus.
Hold on.
Anyways, folks, check out the SB Fantasy Football Podcast wherever you listen to your least favorite podcast.
Overall, 87.
Yeah. With that kind of value,
20. Okay, I'm sorry. PPR overall 88 and 25th running back.
88. So I'm getting in the 8th round. End of the 8th round. Yeah, I'd take a flyer on him then. Yeah, absolutely. I think that he got those touchdowns while A-Chain was there, and A-Chain had a couple games where he was just a monster. And because the problem with the Miami Dolphins running backs, you don't know which one's going to get the ball that week.
No.
And some weeks they do share quite well, where you get like 15 apiece or something like that. But yeah, A-Chain just blew
I will say
up.
it's gotten better since Mike McDaniel got there.
Yeah.
Right? You kind of have the tendency to know who's going to do what.
Yeah.
It's not like it was before when you had like Kenyon Drake who was tearing it up and they're just benching the guy. Right?
God, it was so frustrating. It was so frustrating.
It was insane.
But this kid, yeah, I shouldn't say kid. Well, he's still a kid to me. If you're 30 years old, you're a kid, in my eyes.
Well, yeah.
But I think at his value, you're getting him there. Yeah, that late, I'm still in. I think I am in. He might go a little bit earlier because we do have some Mostert fans and people know the name. They see the name. They don't think about the age. I don't think about they just drafted another rookie. They know A-Chain though. And they're like, well, I'm letting him drop. And then someone else can be like, you know what? I'm going to pick him up for great value in the 9th round. And I'm willing to spend a 9th round pick on that. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, because
On
at
that.
that
On
point
him.
in time,
I'm him.
4th running back.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I would take him as my 4th.
You've got 5 receivers, 3 running backs heading into the 8th round or, the 9th round. You're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean,
You're building your bench at this point, right? And his stock, if something happens to A-Chain, which A-Chain did get hurt, I believe a couple times last year, all of a sudden you plug him into a high-powered offense, and you've seen him do it. He's put up the numbers,
he has.
and ka-chow, you're gonna probably roll somebody that week. I don't have the numbers pulled up because I didn't look at the list before you told me because I kind of wanted to be a surprise. But
Right.
if you go back and look at his PPR, that is last year, he had some monster games.
A-Chain? He had some 200+ yard games.
Yeah, A-Chain did,
last
but
year.
I'm seeing Mostert still had monster games too, where he scored like 30 points.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he scored you 21 touchdowns.
Yeah. So he was just a man.
That's over a touchdown a game.
Red zone target. Magnet.
For sure.
He was one of the guys I'd pick up, where they were in DFS when A-Chain and him were kind of about the same price. There were some weeks I would go after Mostert because I'm like, okay, you could almost look and see which week. It's like every other week, every third week, and there's a pattern there.
There's
something. I don't know. Anyways, yeah.
Next up, 31-year-old DeAndre Hopkins. Last year, he got you 75 catches for 1,057 yards and 7 touchdowns. Overall PPR, you're looking at 76, number 43rd wide receiver off the board PPR. With Tennessee, Will Levis, right?
Yeah.
That do anything for you?
I mean, if he stays healthy, he was wild that first, or that, like, how many games did he actually play last year before he got hurt? I think it was game 1, he just went ape-ass, and then he sucked like the rest of the time until he finally just
Well, he played in
separated.
17 games last year.
Went 17?
Yeah, it was the year before.
I feel like he got,
In
is that what it was?
2022, he only played 9 games.
Okay.
And 2021, he played in 10 games. So you're coming off a couple of years where he didn't play all season. He played all season last year. 137 targets for 75 catches. That's a high target rate and a low reception rate.
Well, it's just
right
the
there.
accuracy. You know what I mean? It's not like he's dropping the ball. He doesn't drop the ball.
Yeah.
For me, he's one of the guys that I just haven't drafted the last several years. I've just kind of avoided him because, in Arizona, it fell off and then he got traded and it was kind of like hit or miss. And I'm like, I don't want to. What's his current ADP or his rankings?
80s. What did I say? Hold on. Let me go back over to that screen. AR 76 overall and 43rd wide receiver.
76 overall. I don't know if he won't be there by the time I want to draft him. And the 9th or 10th round.
I would definitely be drafting him later. I'm not taking him in the 7th round. That's
can't.
just not happening.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not, and he's just 31 years old. He's not that old, but he's old in wide receiver years, I suppose. But just that situation that he's in Tennessee. And Will Levis, man, he showed you he can ball, but then, man, he has flopped some games and just had trouble. His porn tape got dropped. Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Jesus. And they were like, sorry. And there was one person that posted, goes, my apologies, Mr. Will Levis. I was unaware of your game. You know what I was like? And the chick, I think it's like his ex-girlfriend or something like that. And she's like a freaking 15 out of a 10. I mean, just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's an NFL quarterback, so.
This is before he was starting at Kentucky at this point, I think. But, yeah.
He was going to be.
Yeah. So anyways, I just can't do that. For me, that ADP, I'm not even sure if he will even be in the 15th round.
Yeah, I would take him real late.
I want someone to take him before I get there.
That's one of those where it's like, let someone else take him and have to worry about it. Wide receivers, when they get over 30, is when they start to drop off, right?
Yeah,
that's that magic number.
And that's not no shot at him or anything like that. But like when I say that, when I'm like, I'll draft him in the 15th round, it means I don't want to draft. I want someone else to draft him, and that's what I say with a lot of these. Like when I'm trying to avoid players, I love the guy. I loved watching him. I've been watching him play football for 12 years.
Well, and that's also like the big difference. And we got to make sure we clarify that, because when we say we're going to avoid a player, it doesn't mean we're not going to draft him, right?
Yeah.
We're just going to let that guy fall.
Yeah.
We're going to avoid drafting, but there's a certain point where he hits where you're like, you know what? I'll take him. Just like I had with Alvin Kamara a few years ago. I was avoiding him, but when he was dropping to like the 5th round, I'm like, okay, Alvin Kamara in the 5th round, I'm okay with that.
This year I'm a little bit higher on him, so I might be going after him.
Okay, all right. But if I say I'm not drafting him,
Yeah.
well, that's a different story.
And I'm not drafting DeAndre Hopkins. I really don't see any value there where this is where I'll take him. I know you will. You're always a softie on him, so you'll take him like in the 13th round or something like that.
But he's a guy
he
who's
won't
done me
make it.
good over the years, right?
Everybody
And I
has
mean,
those guys. Everybody has those guys. You know what I mean?
And at that point in time, I'm taking him as a guy, as a bench guy, to fulfill a bye week, right? And for a bye week guy, I'm okay with that.
What's up, Jason? I'm sorry if we didn't see your comment. I was clicking around.
He just put it.
Oh,
in
okay.
there.
What's up, brother? How you doing? Cheers to you.
Happy birthday! Hey, happy birthday, Jason.
Hey, there you go. We need a little drop for a little birthday song, a little quick one or something like that. Hope you're sipping on a nice frosty cold beer.
All right. Next up, I know this is a guy that is near and dear to your heart that
buddy.
you absolutely love.
I like talking.
I'm
my
pretty
guys.
sure you would take a bullet for this guy.
Ooh.
Tyler Lockett.
I mean, I was going to say Austin Eckler or Tyler Lockett, and yes, on both accounts.
31 years old.
Yeah.
79 catches last year for 895 yards and 5 TDs.
Yeah.
The production just was not there last year.
It's tough. And Jigba
right now,
got some
he's
action, and so did DK Metcalf.
104 overall in PPR. The number 50 wide receiver going off the board. DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. A team that's not passing quite as much. Right, they do pass it a little bit, and then also you saw Geno Smith kind of take a step back last year.
Yeah, you regressed a little bit.
Where are you at with your boy?
I tell you what, like this year, he's popped up a couple times in a couple different conversations, and I'm just like, for me, he's falling lower and lower on my board because he is getting a little bit older. I think you have to feed DK. The dude is a monster. He's an alpha, bro. I mean, he is. You got to get him the ball, and I think there's always going to be a spot or a role or a spot or a role for Lockett. He's a guy that can get open in space, and then, I mean, but if he knows there's a safety or someone around, boy, he catches and he does the digs, right? Catch and drops,
Right?
because he's like, I'm not taking that shot, which
well,
is
and
fine.
he's not a bigger guy either.
No, he's
though,
little.
right? He's a little guy.
But if he's out in the corner, that's why he'll get you 5 touchdowns. But yeah, he just, for me, I think it's starting to dry up for him quite a bit. Now he's going to be on that team. I don't know, probably a handful more years. Obviously,
I think this is a year where you see him go to the number 3 receiver,
Yeah.
and Jackson Smith passing him up this year.
Yeah.
Who started to do better towards the end of last year, right? That second half of the season, Jackson Smith really started to step up. So yeah,
Mountain Fork, Timber Creek, or Amberell. Nice. I like Mountain Fork. Oh yeah,
but yeah, this is a guy that I would have to get him real late.
like super late.
It's
Like 12th, 13th round. I think 13th would be where I'll accept him. You said he's 80. What's his number? 100 and what?
overall.
Yeah.
His overall 104.
So 104. So you're talking
104.
early 10th round in a 10 team league.
Now he is a guy that I did get super cheap in our dynasty league, but I don't have any receivers. Right, my receivers were crap. I was able to get him for pretty much league minimum, as a filler for a year.
Yeah.
Right, and as that, I was okay with it because there wasn't a lot out there that was much better that I was going to be able to afford. Like Mike Evans was out there, but he went crazy high, and I just didn't have the salary cap room to get it. So I'm working, within the constraints of my salary cap. This is a guy that I've got some younger guys that I'm hoping will step up, but this will be an older guy that, hey, maybe can help me out in a bye week or something like that. Got him for a league minimum, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I got to get him at discount. I do.
Yeah.
Because and especially like in a league like you're talking about, where it's touchdowns or nothing. And if he's only giving you 5,
It's only giving you 5. You ain't getting much, right?
And he's not going to get more.
No.
This isn't a year where he's like, oh, I'm going up. He's already peaked. He's on his way down. But in a super deep league, like 16 team, I mean, he's your wide receiver too.
I mean, and
Or it could be.
You're coming in, 31 years old.
Yeah.
He's at that age.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So
We'll see what he does.
I
but
love watching
he's-
him. I love, like I said, I've been drafting him and fighting Mike over him every single freaking year because he's a Tyler Lockett guy too. So it's me and Mike just trading, nut shots after nut shots after, just cracking each other in the balls.
All right, we're going to keep getting older, and we're going to go with 32-year-old, another one of your boys that you love to draft every year, Keenan Allen.
Oh,
Now, Keenan Allen got you 108 receptions last year for 1,243 yards, only 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's a pretty low number for that many receptions. Played in, how many games did he play in last year? Hold on, my mouse is active. 13 games last year.
Yeah, almost
13.
All of them, yeah. What's his name? Who's the quarterback out there? I totally forgot his name. No, I'm talking about the Charger quarterback.
Well, he's not with the Chargers.
No,
anymore.
I know.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert. I couldn't think of his last. I knew his first name was Justin. I could not think of it. Like I went blank. Like the whole time you were like building all that up, all I could think of in my head was like Justin something. He had a terrible year last year, and he was supposed to blossom, and it didn't.
That team just overall was just bad last year.
And I do love Keenan Allen. I do try to draft him. I haven't been able to get my hands on him the last couple of years just due to where I've been drafting and things like that.
You got the rookie thrown to him this year.
But they already say he's pro ready. We'll see. You got DJ Moore there. You have
You've also got the reports that he was just awful in 7-on-7s in OTAs.
I'm not saying I'm not writing him off at this point. What's his current
Now,
draft
here's the
position?
thing. You're looking at an overall number 42 and number 26 wide receiver. At that draft capital, I'm not spending that high of a pick on him.
It's so
I'm
boomer
I'm
bust.
just not doing it.
Yeah.
You got DJ Moore there. You've got Rome Oduze.
Yep,
Oduze that they drafted. You got the rookie out there. The Bears' offensive line isn't that good.
He's going to get his target. So in PPR, I think he might be worth the 4th round or 5th round, whatever. But
I don't think I could do that this year.
He's red zone,
I like him.
red zone targets and things like that. He's still going to be a factor if they get that close. There is a ton of just. This is what I'm doing this year, and I'm avoiding these players that have rookie quarterbacks coming in because I just don't know.
This rookie class is.
And the players they have, like Justin Jefferson, I'm like, I don't know. I can't touch him. If I'm sitting there and like CMC's gone, Jamar Chase is gone, Tyreek Hill's gone, and then I'm on the clock, I'm like, am I going to look like an idiot for not taking Justin Jefferson?
I mean, yeah, probably. Yeah,
I'm not going to do it.
You would.
You know what I mean? It's like, who am I going to pick instead? I'm like, I'll go CeeDee Lamb, obviously, and then I'll be able to get out of it that way, backdoor out of there. But, your 5th or 6th pick, all these players off the board, and then you're staring at Justin Jefferson. You're like, what he can do. I don't know what the kid can do. And I have the same problem with, look, Keenan Allen's a great player. He's had a great career. He will get targets. He'll get targets in the red zone. But with a kid, you know what I mean? It's like, how great was, how many quarterbacks did the Patriots go through this past year? They rolled like 3 guys out there. You couldn't trust any player on that team other than Ramondre Stevenson. You know what I mean? And even and then he got hurt. I think he got hurt. Yeah, and he was out for the season. You're like, oh, geez, they just put me out of my misery. But I can't do it. And I love Keenan Allen. I really do. Go Stars. Got Hensey back. Yeah, buddy. Rope Hintz. He'll be starting. I got to put the game on. I think it comes on. Ooh, right now actually.
Next up, we're going up another age.
Right.
Going to 33.
All right.
33-year-old wide receiver Adam Thielen. He got you 103 catches last year for 1,014 yards, 4 touchdowns.
He's still in Carolina.
Still in Carolina. Overall, number 159. Wide receiver, number 72. So you're getting a pretty decent value. You're hearing some good things out of camp about Bryce Young this year.
Yeah.
Where are you at with him?
I mean, I'll take him at his current value. Like I take him before I take my defense or my kicker. Or if I do take a defensive player or a kicker, right? Like I'm like, oh well, I got my 16th pick sitting here. Who would I want to take a stab on? Usually, rookies are probably gone by that point. You know what I mean? Like because all the oh geez, all the
This is great.
all the rookies are probably already gone. Anybody with any value, right? But you get you a veteran if you're in a deep league, he's going to score you some touchdowns, but they got to get there. But he didn't do too bad. He's one of your boys too. What do you think? Okay, here goes. I need someone to go through and clip every time Alan just goes.
I would have to get him super late. Like
I'm saying the
I know,
15th round.
I know.
15th round.
Like
Are you in?
I don't know.
Just depending
I
on what else is
honestly
out
I don't
there?
know. Right.
It is. It depends on who else is
It
out there.
really
And if any of your other fellas that you like slip that far down and you're looking at them like, yeah, I can tell. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go this way.
Here's the problem. I know what I'm going to get with him.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to get some receptions. I'm going to get some yards. I'm not going to get to the touchdowns.
What was his average average points last year? Does it have it on there?
I can look.
Nah, don't look it up. Don't
Okay.
Don't bog
Well,
it
you
up.
asked me a question. I was going to go ahead and look real quick.
Don't bog it up.
I'm
sorry.
not
I didn't mean
bogging it up.
I didn't mean to ask. It's my
You
fault.
didn't mean to ask?
No, because I was thinking it was like I believe he got a little bit better towards the end of the year, if I remember correctly. And he was like averaging like 8-10 points, but then he got into the double digits, obviously with the 10 points, and then like 12 or 15. He dusted it a couple times. Like that.
Let me make sure.
Just
Hold on.
touch.
That's standard. Let me just pull this
A little
PPR.
light touch.
PPR, you're looking at
Appreciate that, like Mike Graham.
week 18. We're going to go week 18 back.
Okay.
3.2, 9.8, 15.4,
15.
8.3,
Right.
12.4,
Right.
5.5, all the way back to week 12 at 1.2.
Yeah,
Right.
there you go. So he had some up and down weeks, but they had an up and down season. Like they were just god awful. Bryce Young was terrible. He's too little. You know, they got to figure out something else for him. You know what I mean? But the
also,
second year
like,
in,
it's
you know, he got fed
first
to the
year
wolves.
in,
Yeah, he got
right?
fed to the
First
wolves.
year in on a bad team.
Lizzie said game over. All right.
Oh, man.
Game is over.
man. Game over.
Thanks for coming in. Lizzie.
Let's move on to quarterbacks.
All right. QBs.
I got 3 QBs we're going to talk about.
one of them better be
I
on
got,
the.
I got 2 35-year-olds and I got a 40-year-old, okay? Starting at 35, I got Russell Wilson.
Thought you were going to do a wowie.
No, which one would you rather? Russell Wilson had 3,070 yards last year, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. But he also only played in, what was the number? 15 games last year. They benched him for the last 3. With him, you're looking at an ADP of,
He's at Pittsburgh now, right?
he's with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Overall 214, number 31 quarterback.
They got rid of that terrible coordinator, right? Didn't they have a bad coordinator too?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh had an opportunity to actually do some good last year, and they got lucky because Joe Burrow got hurt, and the Bengals just kind of struggled. Even though everybody in that division was over 500, like it's the toughest division there was last year. So this year, I'm not touching. I can't do it. I've been on the Russ train for the last handful of years, and the son of a
I've been on the Russ is going to
me
suck for the last
over.
8 years, I feel.
Yeah. God, dog.
Actually, 6 years.
You
We've
finally
been doing
got
this for 6 years.
You finally got something right then.
6 years in, I'm on board. Actually, I got that a couple of years ago. But
So I'm kind of curious because I think Justin Fields, like he's already mentioned, he goes, I'm not sitting the entire year, and I don't think they will make him sit. So if you drafted him, you're drafting him as like a backup in like a QB flex league or something like that.
But as the number 31 quarterback,
I know.
no,
Nah,
you're
I'm not
you're
drafting
you're
him.
not having him on your team. I
was saying if you have like it's
I don't
only time
see
he'll
a
come into play
situation
was a
where
flex or something like
I
that.
don't see a situation like if that's who I'm having to draft as my backup.
No, QB flex. Like say in the strikeout beer league, right?
Okay, if that's who I got to draft as my QB flex,
Yeah.
I messed up on that draft.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, as my backup, as my QB flex, as my whatever,
Can't
as
do
my
it.
nanny, I'm not doing it.
can't do
I'm
it.
just not doing it. I'm not drafting him. One, you don't know how long he's going to play this year.
Yeah.
You know, Justin Fields is better. That's all there is to it. Now, Justin Fields isn't great. I don't think Justin Fields is that good, but he's better than Russell Wilson at this point.
I think they've left him out to dry. I think they've left. Chicago abused Justin Fields, never gave him proper protection, all that kind of stuff. Fed him to the wolves, everything like that. And so and he actually shined in fantasy though.
But
You're
here's the other thing
50
with,
points
with
a game.
Justin Fields. He didn't go to a team with a system that is favorable to him.
Yeah, we'll see.
Pittsburgh doesn't play a system with a running quarterback. They never have.
Yeah, we're about to find out.
So you're
Does Russell scramble too?
scram, but
They have
that's,
two
that's-
agile quarterbacks.
But this is a guy that you design run plays around.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy that he'll look to run. So and you're in a system that doesn't do that. So I don't know. Like
does have
if
talent
he
around him,
had
but that
gone
doesn't mean
somewhere
anything.
like say like Baltimore, right, to be a backup for Lamar there, and if he had to come in, that's a much better system for him to be in versus a system with Pittsburgh.
or they run the ball. Like
Well,
they actually hand it
no,
off. To a
they
running
turn
back.
and yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They pound it with the running back. They don't pound it with the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, he does his own pounding, or he did,
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But yeah, I'm not touching Russell Wilson. It's not happening.
All right. Well, keep your hands to yourself then.
I am.
Yeah.
He's all yours.
I can't do it. I just can't do it. And this year's like even worse. Like I gave him enough chances, and now I know that like Justin Fields behind him. I go, buddy, that leash is short. You know, and
I really feel like it is. Yeah.
I hope that Pittsburgh has a terrible freaking year because you know, F those clowns.
Oh, and so this next quarterback, apparently I had the wrong number for his age. He's actually 36 years old.
Oh, okay.
36-year-old Matthew Stafford,
Oh,
who last year got you 3,965 yards passing, 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. You got Puka's there.
I'm in.
Who's all in.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp is healthy. You're looking at an overall PPR draft at 141, QB number 19.
oh, I'm in, and I'll get him before that because I'll have to if I want him. You know what I mean? I mean, you can't. He won't fall that far. He was top 10. Was he number 8 last year or something like that? We looked at the numbers here recently. We just did a QB show. You can go back and check it out. But we discussed it. It might have even been on Strikeout Beer. So if you're unfamiliar, this is part of Strikeout Beer podcast, live streams on Wednesdays for all of them: SB Baseball, SB Fantasy Football, SB, and Strikeout Beer. But yeah, no, I think he came in top 10. So yeah, no, I'm absolutely drafting him. If you want him, you better get him. But now I'd say about the 10th round, to be honest with you. You know, he's not going to make it to the 14th. There's no way. Because he's still a gunslinger. He really is. And I thought, like it was a couple years back when, you know, he broke his back. He was injured. He's always hurt, you know, type thing. And then last year, though, he was like, I'm healthy for the most part. And he was slinging it. And he has talent around him. They can run the ball. Kyron Williams is a stud back there. Puka was the like breakout receiver of the freaking of the year. He was so awesome. And if you were lucky enough to get him, congratulations.
Yeah. Now, Fantasy Pros last year had him at the number 15 spot.
That's where he finished.
Now I think this is just kind of overall quarterback.
Yeah.
This isn't really points. This is just your advanced quarterback stats for what they have
Okay.
on here.
You know, I go to Fantasy Data when I need something like this. Not a sponsor, but I'm just saying, I'll go and pop in there, and then, you know, you can sort by PPR
year.
and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So, you know what? I think he was number 15 last year. So you're right there. Yeah. Number 15. Not bad. Not bad at all. I'll go get him because, like I said, 270, or no, was it 270? Hold on, let me look. I just want to make sure I got it right here. 243. Played 15 games. So he had 2 games where he was out. And I think he's healthy. He's good to go. Like I'll go. I think I will go 12th round. Let's say 12th.
Okay.
I'd go 12th round with him.
And that's a guy who finished one spot below Russell Wilson last year. Russell Wilson was your number 14 quarterback last year.
Oh, I got Sam Howell here.
You got Sam Howell there?
256,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Wilson,
Pretty
though, was
close.
256.
Okay.
So you're talking like, you know, and then within 10 points of where Matt Stafford is, you know, 20 points or whatnot, you're that close to being in the top 10. Baker Mayfield rounded off the top 10.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
we'll see. Stafford's my boy. Love Stafford. Was happy to see him, win a Super Bowl.
They sold everything for that.
They did. But hey, when it works, it's worth it, right?
Yeah, why not? We ask the question to Cowboy fans all the time, like, "Hey, would you sell everything? You're not going to win another one." But they got close. I think they make the playoffs last year or something.
Cowboys?
No. The Rams.
Yeah. My Lions took them out.
So they made it back.
They had a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
They're good at drafting some guys. Puka was a guy that they drafted late, right? Mm-hmm. That really came out of nowhere. Kyron Williams came out of nowhere.
Like it's crazy. So anyway,
they're good. They're good at drafting.
Yeah.
So now they don't have Aaron Donald this year, which replacing that guy is
Good luck.
you can't.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you can. You got to go pay a lot of money to somebody. You got to pay some dough.
But there isn't another Aaron Donald out there.
Yeah.
So
and you can't. Hitting on the draft with him is like, it's over. You know what I mean?
Yep. Last
That last.
40-year-old
Oh God.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, go ahead and give me the stats. Let's hear them. I need to
PPR,
I need to know how many drugs he takes.
147,
147.
and number 20 QB.
All right.
So this
He
is
played 3 snaps last year?
maybe,
3 snaps, yeah. 3
maybe.
snaps. Yeah, I'm not drafting. I can't do it. Like, I don't know if he's gonna go down in the first on the first play, the 10th play, the 3rd week. He might make it all the way there. The Jets are like favored to win. They already went overboard again for the Jets. They're the favorite to win like the East now. And I'm like, oh God, just calm down. Let the guy. I mean, I understand. Listen, Josh Allen's still in the division. Okay, Tua still in the division. You got the Dolphins that are good. They can't play in cold weather. I understand. It sucks. Cold sucks. But Josh Allen. I understand he's got a problem getting to the AFC Championship game and getting to the Super Bowl, but they're really good teams. And then you got the Jets. And listen, Breece Hall's great.
Here's the thing, but the Jets, it's about that defense, and that defense is really good.
Yeah.
If Rodgers is healthy, he's that guy that will. Aaron Rodgers can win you your fantasy league next year.
That's only if he wants to do that. If he gets
And
bored with
if
your
he's-
ass,
if he's healthy,
yeah,
and he's all in,
and he's got to be all in.
he's going to be a top 5 quarterback.
He's got the tools around him.
He's got the. You're looking at a guy with a ceiling of number 1
I mean,
and a floor of number 32. Or lower,
Or
because
lower.
he doesn't even play.
Yeah, if he
right?
doesn't
because
play
he gets hurt. Right now, you've got Breece Hall there. Behind Breece Hall, you don't have much behind Breece Hall as far as running backs are concerned.
Yeah.
Wide receiver wise, Garrett Wilson is great. Mike Williams is recovering from an ACL. There's no timetable on his return right now. He's not on OTAs. He's still trying to get healthy. You excited about anyone else over there, wide receiver wise? Xavier Gibson, Alan Lazard. I mean, no.
I was too busy trying to
Malachi Corley.
I was too busy trying to pull up Aaron Rodgers' stats for last year.
It's nothing.
Well, hold on. Bump the brakes. It is 0.
Okay.
He finished.
So I win.
He finished 76. But he's not last. So he finished 76 behind or tied with Sam Ehlinger, Max Dugan, Jacob Eason.
Did those guys play?
Sam Ehlinger played 3 games.
Okay.
He played 3 freaking games and got 0 points.
Okay.
Teddy Bridgewater
Didn't play
negative 0.2.
because he came in and down the ball.
Barkley negative 0.3.
in and
Woodside,
down
whoever
the
the hell
ball,
that is,
right?
it's a
Yeah.
backup in Atlanta.
So you got a bunch of guys who came in and just took a knee at the end of a game. So that doesn't count, right?
So it could be worse. You could, and he finished 76 out of 85. But yeah, there's no freaking way. I just wanted to see how absurd these numbers were. Him just, did they already score? That's a goal by Wyatt Johnson. I always say Johnson. It's Johnston.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. 1-0 Dallas. I don't mean to interrupt the fantasy football
Well, you just
podcast,
did, so
but this is
thanks
what we do
nothing.
for Strikeout Beer. The Strikeout Beer podcast live stream Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central Time. Beer, sports.
All that
Usually got
stuff.
some AEW wrestling on. We just have a little good time, and we're just trying to have a good time in life. Are you picking your boy? Because that's your boy.
I
can't do it. I can't do it.
might take like my last position player
Little flyer.
type thing.
Yeah.
But also depends on who do I get as my main quarterback, right? Do I go all out and draft a Pat Mahomes like I did last year? If I get a Pat Mahomes, I'm not necessarily concerned, right?
Yeah.
But if I end up picking up someone a little bit later, I kind of focus on some other positions. Get Aaron Rodgers real late. Again, he's a guy who can definitely win you your league this next year because of where you're going to draft him at number 20 QB overall being drafted. But I also just don't see, like in some of the leagues that we're in, I just don't see him sitting around that long. I honestly see him being taken higher than that.
That's
Because of some of the
exactly what I was
guys that
gonna
were
say.
in there, right? But if I can get him as like my last position player, which it will be just before I draft my kicker and my defense. I mean, maybe
I'm telling you, and I think you're
a flyer.
Hit the nail on the head. He won't be there. He's not going to be drafted in this position. Once all the, when everybody starts drafting these players and everyone, check your mock drafts too. But you start attending a couple drafts and you're going to start noticing something. They're like, okay, at any position, it's a reach for Aaron Rodgers. But really, in reality, it's not because of the upside. And he wants to play. He wants to win. Then all of a sudden, after a week or two, you might be starting this guy.
Exactly. Now, also, like, what's that Jets offensive line going to do too?
It should be fine. It should be fine.
I mean, it's not good.
It should be fine. They'll figure.
Fine isn't good though in the league, though. Okay,
they have to protect him anyways because he's not scrambling. He's not running. You know what I mean? And they already know what happened last year. And if he's not there, they're going to have to.
Wasn't it a non-contact injury?
Well, he went back though. He was
Right,
being
but-
pressured or whatever.
yeah,
but he went back and no, I think he was sacked when it happened, and the turf that just didn't give way
Right.
to his leg. So yeah, you're gonna have to patch a couple things up and sure up some holes, but he's not gonna go back there unless the S is right, and if it ain't right, he's like, oh no, my leg.
Big gulps, huh?
Oh God,
Well, see you
my
later.
leg, But yeah, so when would I take him? Late. I would take him after the 15th. Well, not 15th. About 13th plus round if I don't have a quarterback yet, and if that's also barring that the studs that I want and these great mid round guys aren't
Right.
still hanging around. It takes one crazy person to start the QB rush, and then the first tier guys kind of take off, and then everybody else is on the radar. Like, when do I got to actually take my quarterback? I want this guy. He's usually in the 8th round. These jerks. Someone's going to pop once they pop tier 2, it's a free for all. Hell breaks loose. All of a sudden, you're jumping out of the pool, running as fast as you can over there to grab a sticker, throw it on the board, and do a cannonball back in.
Like, hey, Aaron, I got him. But yeah, so that's who I got, guys. Let us know what you think. Are you drafting these guys? Are you avoiding them? Are you not drafting them? Is age just a number? I don't know. You hit 30, it's usually downhill from there. But
I miss my 30s.
man, those were good times.
I wrote that down too to talk about tonight.
that you missed your
For
30s.
SB, I was like, man, 30s. Do you miss them?
There we go. But let us know what you guys think. It's been fun as always. We'll be here Wednesdays live as well as some other stuff throughout the year. Looking forward to a fun football season.
During football season. It's
Oh,
gonna
buddy.
be, yeah.
It's gonna be get a lot of us. Get used to these ugly mugs. As always, I'm Alan.
Marty.
Talk to you guys later. Deuces.
Let's go, Stars.
Thank you for listening to the SB Fantasy Football Podcast.